If I had been given better tools and been able to get treatment, maybe I wouldn't have spent, 30 years in and out of medical systems, hundreds of thousands of dollars later, standing on rooftops wondering why I'm still alive. I was a pretty talented athlete, and I remember being on the field and running, and I would just gasp, and it sounded awful. Like I literally sounded like I was having some sort of attack. And I remember the other players on the opposite team watching me, gasping, and that my lungs would close up. You do for a moment feel like you're gonna die, your airway is affected. But I knew something was terribly wrong. I was out in really pretty deep poverty in Oklahoma for much of my life. We didn't always have electricity. We didn't always have gas. I was raised in an environment where we didn't go to doctors. My mother had a fear of physicians. She had a lot of health problems, and there were no answers for her. It carried into me as well, that intergenerational trauma. Most people would circle toys when they're little. I would circle the microscopes. I wanted a chemistry set. I didn't have a ton of resources. But fortunately, I was in this small private school called the University of Tulsa, and I got really good scholarships. I was studying microbiology and doing everything I could to add the biologics into it as well, because my hope was to get to a program in graduate school where I could take that into a healthcare setting. I wanted to make something that just didn't exist yet.
I first met Robin at Georgia Tech in the halls, just in passing. Robin was working on biotherapeutics. Robin actually helped with the programs between the engineers, biologists, and chemists like myself.
At the time I was having severe chest pains and breathing problems and all those things.
The research she's doing is high-level medical research. She understands exactly what's happening in the body on the micro scale, just like a doctor would. She's describing to the doctors what's happening to her, but they discredit her.
They'd look and say, well, you have PTSD, probably have depression, so you're just going to be anxious. So they would tell me that I was basically troubled, and so I was just going to feel bad. When I was in my early 20s, I went on, again, this big diagnostic odyssey. And I didn't have health insurance. I was working through Georgia Tech's healthcare system at the school level and then seeing experts in paying for it. When I was 27 years old, I was on 27 different types of medicine.
She'd been in the hospital, and it's like they're practically saying she's making up everything, but they see that she's sick. And she's like, I'm actually dying. And I was like, yeah, I know.
When COVID came around, the whole narrative was, you get the infection, you get over it, you're fine. But there's a fraction of the patients, somewhere between 5 to 10%, who got it and just stayed sick. Ongoing symptoms, can't get out of bed. And the bottom line is, the current healthcare system is completely unequipped for it.
There's still not any reliable testing, apparently. There's still no real way to know who has it and doesn't. And I was only sick for a few days. And I remember kind of congratulating myself that I had won the lottery and gotten the most mild form, but in a few weeks, I started having these headaches. And they were, I'd had migraines, I'd had severe headaches in my life, I'd been through a lot of disease, but I had never had a headache quite like this before. I just could not get out of bed, I couldn't think clearly, and I realized I was starting to have trouble even reading. Then by April, I used to be up, I used to dance, I used to do all these things. I couldn't even walk around the neighborhood, and I started having severe breathing problems. By May, I was shaking so hard that I thought it was an earthquake in the night. I had reached a point where I did not know what was wrong, and nobody could give me any explanations. And even in a lifetime of experiencing that, this was beyond anything that I had experienced.
These patients are bouncing from doctor to doctor to doctor because the doctors are looking at their chart saying, you don't fit my disease entity, and your lab tests come back normal. Not my problem, go see somebody else. It's incredibly inefficient, a system that was never built to catch people who don't fit the chart. So they get shuffled around, one doctor to the next, until eventually nobody believes them. The doctors don't believe them, the families don't believe them. They're left distraught, severely depressed, just saying, I don't feel well and nobody believes me. There's a massive, desperate demographic here, completely ignored by the establishment.
Some level of me was just like, okay, this is my other disease burdens, this is my depression, all the things that they tell you when you're a woman coming in to the medical system and they say it's in your head, it's all of these things, it's something else, you can't be this. And I just knew that I couldn't keep going like this. I go back to the clinic and I look at this doctor and I say, you need to commit me or kill me because I can't do this anymore. She's like, Dr. Schlicker, I need you to hear me. She said, I think you have long COVID.
Finally, she came in one day so happy. They finally listened to me. It was like night and day. She came in, she was, it was more than just that happy Robin. It was like, I got my life back. That was her actual words.
I realized, A, I'm not crazy. It felt like all of the validation that I needed to move into the next phase of my life, which was solving this problem.
When she finds something that is important and she knows the world needs to see it, she will not let go till she gets it there.
The worst diagnosis is no diagnosis. It's when you go through years of testing and expense and hope, and they just keep sending you home.
In fact, the US loses $2 trillion in healthcare costs every year due to unclear or incorrect diagnostics. And the problem is only getting bigger, with chronic illness rates set to double by 2050 and most of these conditions having no approved treatments or tests available at all.
There's millions of people suffering.
Today this affects at least 9 million people in the US alone with ongoing long COVID symptoms and 35 million people in the US overall. Standard blood tests come back normal while patients continue to feel not right.
Our work is actually a platform that can be helpful to patients with many different types of diseases. I think there's the psychological component of not ever really getting an explanation or really being believed would have been alleviated. And that would have completely changed my life in a way more substantive than if I'd had more money or if I'd not been disabled. I was able to get the Pell Grants and the government money. And I am a product of the US taxpayer. I was a kid who got away from poverty because of the generous support, genuinely, of people who gave that money and helped me get educated. And I've always felt part of that obligation was that I needed to give that back. And so to honor that, I work for the people.